There was a song that I used to sing in church, and it talked about how love is never stuffed up, never puffed up, never gives up when the going's rough. And it's a song that I had literally taken to heart when it comes to love. Love is basically just encompassing, to me, everything wrong and everything right. Um, the love of your parents, the love of your siblings, the love of you have for friends when they do right, the love that you have friends when they do wrong. So it's just love is just being, existing, caring, nurturing, all the good stuff and the bad. Oh goodness. My ideal relationship. It's probably why I'm not in one now, but I would say my ideal relationship would be someone who challenges me. Um, I don't necessarily subscribe to the whole, opposite attracts or, you have to be the exact same as your partner. I believe that every partnership should be both, you both have a goal of attaining to be better than who you are, but at the same time being able to challenge each other and not challenge each other and like who's going to do the laundry and not who's going to do the laundry, but it's where you're not so strong the other person might be, and they push you to kind of open up in that area, and you would do the same thing for them. So for me, my ideal relationship is to be in that type of relationship where someone's constantly challenging me to be a better version of who I am. Well, my last relationship, wonderful, wonderful human being, great father to his children, uh, always challenged me, sometimes in a frustrating way. And this kind of harkens back to what I talked about with love is being able to handle the good and the bad. And a lot of people who know me know that I often ask for people to give me their feedback and don't hold back. But as soon as they do it, I'm grr, don't tell me what to do. And he understood that, but still was willing to challenge me in ways that I didn't think that I could be challenged before. And so it helped me to appreciate, because of my family life, to appreciate and understand better how people work in a family unit. And so I will always be grateful for that. Well, I would say my realm of relationship has not been the greatest for me to kind of, have that knowledge of being able to say, this is what I've experienced that was the worst when it comes to challenging me versus this is the best. A lot of my relationships have dealt with people who kind of like used me to get to other people. And when you're in those types of situations, and I've been in them multiple times, you kind of learn to doubt who you are and what you're about. And luckily, I have learned to love myself enough to where I was able to combat all of those feelings. And then in the times that I was single, I knew what type of relationship I didn't want and what type of relationship that I did want. So when I got into this last relationship, I was loved myself enough to be able to have that relationship and still grow with the things that he was teaching me. And the same token, he was able to grow in the things that I was teaching him about what it's like to be in a relationship. So huge. So I have learned that um, I think the term is not touch starved. I don't think that's the word. It's more of my love language is touching, physical. I love the idea of cuddling, of making out, sex, every kind of sex. I love it. I crave it. And I think that part of it stems from not having it. and having any type of love and in that way with other relationships, that once I started to get into deeper relationships, that became a big thing. Um, it was, and I love sex. I do. I find that I'm one of those people that when I'm not in a relationship, I'm cool with going a year, 2, 3, sometimes 7. It's happened without having sex. But once I'm in a relationship, my body craves it a lot. So, no one. I had to learn about sex at a very young age. I come from a religious family and with a military mother. So everything was don't do sex. We don't talk about sex. You just go to school, come home, do your chores, and that's it. And I started experimenting when I was 15 years old, and not just experimenting, full sex. I had it all, and I had no one to teach me in the sense of like sitting me down to say what it is. Now, the people that I've been with, they've been very instrumental, like try this, try that. You know, you can say no to this or say no or say yes or say no or whatever. But as far as someone like actually sitting down and saying, this is what a condom is, this is what happens when when you get an STI, and this is if I was going to end up having relations with women, learn about birth control and things of that nature. No one has ever actually sat down and talked to me about that. I wish I think I enjoyed sex too much that I don't think that there's anything that I wish I had have known per se. Um, the only thing that I would say that I would regret or wish was that I had actually waited um, until I was mature enough to be able to have, sex. And I wasn't mature, especially when I was dealing with the type of people that I was dealing with when I started having sex, because unfortunately, my first sexual experience was with people who were in their 20s and 30s, with me being 15. So if anything, if I wish I can go back and just say no, at least wait till you're 18 and grown before you start having relations with other people. I think it is important. Um, I think it is something that everyone should know is always an option and should be your first option. Um, I don't knock anyone for not having safe sex as far as using condoms and taking preventative measures like that. Um, but I feel that if a lot of people were more aware of what safe sex is, there would be a lot less issues that we're dealing with these days. So I'm in a big support of safe sex. So this is going to sound kind of weird. Um, from 15 till 20, I did not practice safe sex at all. I had relations with a lot of people in a lot of situations that were not safe at all. And and then once I turned 20 and started, focusing on what I need to be doing in life, I looked back and I realized like, wow, I've managed to get through that and I did not have any issues. And for the things that I've done, that's a blessing to me. Like that's, you know, somebody had, I didn't have to worry about anything else. And so because of that, I didn't want to take any more chances. Now, I would be remiss not to say, have I had unprotected sex since then? Yes. And mostly they were with partners who we had gone to have testing done and then chose to do that. But outside of that, I've always made sure to maintain any type of, safe sex practices that I could. I would say I've never thought about it that way. I can definitely see how that can be utilized in a self-care kind of way. Um, and now that I think about it, unless you are in a situation, well, I don't like to sex shame anybody. I mean, if you're having sex, you're having sex. Um, but I would definitely say if you're wanting to be able to continue to experience it without, having to deal with any issues later on, definitely self-care and use protection. Use any type of method that you can to make sure that you're safe. So. I know that PrEP is one of the best ways to stop from becoming HIV positive, and it is. I also know that it is not widely known, which is kind of the job that I do, is to help our agency be able to get the word out there about PrEP. And that not only does it help protect you against HIV, but it's something that's not just for MSMs or men who have sex with men. It is for everybody who who might find themselves in a situation where they might be having sex without using protection. Even with your husband, girlfriend, friend. If you're a sex worker, any of that. If you're doing anything involving sex, PrEP is definitely something that you want to be on. And I also want to make sure that it's understood that, like, it's not the end all be all. It's not something that's just, that's going to protect you from everything, because it's not. It's one of the measures against HIV. We still have other STIs that are, deadly. And we also have, pregnancy scares and things of that nature that can happen. So to me, it's important that, people be on PrEP. Like I said, not just MSMs, queer men, gay men, however you want to call it. Everyone who is practicing in any type of sex should be on PrEP.